The kitchen smelled like sugar and vanilla, soft and warm, almost enough to soothe the restless beat of my heart. I smoothed the final swirl of frosting across the cake, steadying my hand so the moon and the little wolf I'd drawn didn't smear. The candlelight flickered across the icing, and for a moment I let myself smile.
My moon goddess.
I whispered, folding my hands as if I were still a little girl praying at bedtime.
I'm turning 21 today. My first wish. My mate Jasper, the future alpha of Blood Moon Pack, will marry me and make me his Luna.
The words tasted sweet, like the frosting at the tip of my finger. My smile faltered, but I pressed on.
My second wish, please. Let my wolf Julia return. She's been silent for 3 years, ever since I gave her strength to save my mate.
The memory stabbed sharp. 3 years ago, the night when I turned 18, and met my wolf Julia for the first time. Jasper was trapped in a burning pub. He was born 2 days after me and still had no wolf. I rushed into the flames and noticed he was seriously injured. Without hesitation, I shared Julia's strength to save him. But then Julia disappeared. That night had cost me everything: my wolf, my father's pride, and any chance of being treated like more than the beta's strong daughter. Still, it had been worth it. Jasper was alive. The phone on the counter buzzed. I wiped my hands on my dress and leaned over.
Come over. Got a surprise for you.
My heart leapt. A surprise from him? A smile broke across my face before I could stop it. Maybe he was finally ready to propose. I snatched the cake box, hugged it close, and ran out the door before doubt could catch me. The pack house pulsed with bass so loud it rattled through the floorboards. Laughter and shouting tangled with the music. And when I stepped into the living room, for a second I froze. A wild party. Not exactly what I'd imagined. Still, my chest tightened with anticipation. From across the room, a circle of pack members stood cheering. Kiss, kiss, kiss! I squeezed past elbows, the cake heavy in my hands. My smile faltered when I finally reached the center. Bianca, my half-sister, sat on Jasper's lap, head tipped back, her lips locked to his as they shared a mouthful of liquor. His shirt half unbuttoned, her fingers curled possessively at his chest. The cake slipped from my hands, tumbling to the floor, like my stomach twisting into knots.
Jasper? My voice cracked. How could you kiss my sister? I'm your mate.
The music cut off sharply, like a blade slicing through the air. Silence fell, heavy, broken only by the pounding of blood in my ears. Every pair of eyes turned toward me. Bianca rose slowly, lips still glistening, a perfectly practiced innocence softening her features.
Sorry, Tessa, it's my birthday today. And all I wanted was a kiss from Jasper.
My stomach sank. Birthday? Oh, right. How could I forget? When my father had brought his mistress and this half-sister to my mother's funeral, he'd reminded me that Bianca and I shared the same birthday.
Who told you to come here?
What? You texted me?
Tessa, don't be upset. I know Jasper's your mate. I'd never try to take him. You made me a cake for my birthday?
It's not for you.
I spent 3 hours making it.
Ah, don't hit me.
My humiliation captured forever.
I didn't mean to ruin your cake, Tessa.
You did this on purpose.
Tessa, it's Bianca's birthday. You can't even celebrate with her? All you ever do is attack her?
Something inside me broke. My vision blurred, my heart splitting in two.
It's my birthday too.
Voice tearing raw from my throat.
For a second, I froze. Tessa's voice cut through the laughter, sharp and broken, and every eye turned to her. Frosting dripped from her pure dark hair, streaking down that dress that clung to every curve, her blue eyes wide with hurt. She was always beautiful, hair that shimmered like silk under the light, rosy lips trembling, her body shaking as if she'd splinter apart.
For a breath, I almost reached for her. Almost.
But then, Bianca's hand tightened on my arm, her perfume washing over me, sweet and familiar, and I remembered. It had been Bianca who sat by my bed 3 years ago, when I woke from the fire, lungs scorched, life hanging by a thread. The pack doctor swore I would have died if she hadn't shared her wolf's strength with me. Her soft hand had held mine, her hazel eyes brimming with tears. Back then, I thought she must be my fated mate, arranged by the moon goddess. However, the next day, when I shifted for the first time and met my wolf, Mark, the truth was laid bare. The moon goddess wasn't laughing with me. She was mocking me. Bianca's half-sister Tessa became my mate. The bond pulled me toward Tessa instantly. Her smile, her warmth, her faith in me, it was everything, and she felt it too. But every time I looked at Bianca, saw those lonely hazel eyes, I couldn't shake the memory of her hand in mine. I told myself she needed me, that I owed her, that I loved her. You will accept Tessa as your Luna, or you will never inherit this pack. And Mark, damn him, had begged me not to betray my mate. She's our fated mate, Jasper. Don't throw her away. I love her. But when I told him my heart belonged to Bianca, he went silent. He hadn't spoken to me since. The bond between us snapped quiet, like a door slammed shut. Tessa was strong and capable, even though her wolf had vanished for reasons unknown. My father admired her grit. His father, Beta Marcus, had been proud of her. Bianca was my life savior, and I heard she was neglected by her parents, unloved at own home. She needed me.
It's my birthday too.
So when Tessa's voice cracked, when she shouted it was her birthday too, I clenched my jaw. If I softened, I would never escape. Enough, Tessa. You think just because you're my mate, I owe you a birthday? She blinked at me, pale as parchment, like she didn't even recognize me. I swallowed the flicker of guilt and twisted the knife deeper. If my father didn't demand I accept you to become Alpha, I'd have rejected you 3 years ago.
Her lips parted, a whisper of pain escaping. What?
I slung my arm around Bianca's shoulders, pulling her closer. Her warmth pressed against me, grounding me, reminding me of the fact that she saved me and of the vow I'd made to her. Bianca's the one I love, I said softly, brushing my thumb over her shoulder. Then I turned back to Tessa, letting the cold harden in my voice. You're nothing but my ticket to the Alpha. I finally got it out, but for some reason, my stomach twisted in pain. You fucking idiot. Mark, who hadn't spoken to me in 3 years, suddenly yelled at me in my head. Tessa's eyes filled, tears spilling down her cheeks. The words sliced something in her. She turned, clutching what was left of her ruined dress, and bolted from the room. The crowd whispered. Some smirked. Others looked uneasy. I didn't care.
Jasper, she's really hurt.
I tightened my arm around her, forcing the anger from my face, until only tenderness remained for her. I don't care. You saved me from that fire 3 years ago. I swore to the moon goddess I'd love you forever. Then, softer, only for her. Her lips curved, brushing against my chest as she hugged me.
The full moon was obscured by thick clouds. The night swallowed me whole as I fled, my heels slipping on the damp earth. Branches clawed at my arms. I didn't stop until the laughter and music were gone, until the only sound left was my ragged breathing. I collapsed beneath a tree, the cake still sticky in my hair, my dress a ruined mess. Tears blurred everything, burning hot trails down my cheeks. I had given everything, 3 years of my life, and love, my wolf, my strength, all of it to build this pack, to support him, to dream of standing by his ideas, his Luna. And to him I was nothing, nothing but a stepping stone to his crown. My sob store free, ugly, and raw. I pressed my forehead against my knees, shaking.
Moon goddess, please wake my wolf. I don't want this mate anymore. Please take him from me.
The clouds above shifted. Silver light spilled through the darkness, painting the forest in shimmering hues. My breath caught. The full moon blazed brighter than I'd ever seen, and from its glow a white wolf emerged, tall, graceful, her fur gleaming like snow. She stepped forward, her eyes the same blue as mine, and pressed into my chest.
My Julia, welcome back.
Heat flooded me, strength surged through my veins, fierce and wild, my wolf's voice ringing in my mind for the first time in years.
Tessa, it's time to leave him.
My sobs stilled. I lifted my face, tears drying on my cheeks, a strange calm settling over me. Resolve hardened like steel inside my chest.
Julia's right. If mate didn't love me, then I'd leave him.
I went to the pack office to meet Alpha Jason the next day. The leather sofa was cold beneath me, but I sat tall, my back straight, my hands folded in my lap. Across the desk, Alpha Jason, Jasper's father, looked up from his papers, startled by my presence. His illness had worn him down, but his eyes were sharp, always too kind when they rested on me.
You want to reject Jasper and leave the pack?
Yes, I have decided to leave him and this pack. I need your permission, Alpha Jason.
Did Jasper do something to hurt you?
The question cut deeper than it should have. My throat tightened, but I forced myself to hold his gaze.
He's my mate, but I can't force him to love me.
Jason sighed, leaning back in his chair, clearly torn.
He had always treated me with more kindness than my own father ever had.
Would you consider giving my foolish son one more chance?
I almost laughed, a bitter, broken laugh. How many more did he need? He had already taken 3 years' worth, and shattered me again last night in front of the entire pack.
But
I began, but Jason raised a hand, interrupting me.
Actually, I just received a royal decree.
He slid a document across the desk, The parchment looked too heavy, the golden seal of the Alpha King glinting under the light. My stomach turned as I unfolded it, scanning the words.
Alpha King Alaric intends to marry Beta Marcus's daughter.
Jason's voice was even, but I caught the slight hesitation, the concern lacing his tone.
Bianca is the only unmated female in your family. Yes, I've already notified your father.
For a moment, the words didn't make sense. My brain lagged behind my eyes, refusing to process what I was reading. Then the meaning slammed into me like a punch.
King Alaric?
My voice cracked in disbelief.
The one cursed by witches? The one who's not expected to live past 30?
Jason nodded slowly.
That's him. They say he's brutal with she-wolves.
Alpha King's images flared in my mind, rumors of torn throats, his brides who never showed again after stepping into his palace. The way his name was whispered like a warning. But when I lifted my eyes to Jason's, my fear burned into something else. Maybe it was a chance for me.
Alpha Jason, I want one thing from you.
He blinked, startled, clearly not expecting resolve instead of pleading. The Ashford estate was colder than I remembered. The air always smelled faintly of polished wood and expensive wine. But no amount of luxury could soften the cruelty housed within its walls.
What? You'll marry King Alaric in Bianca's place?
Yes.
You'd give up your fated mate Jasper just to marry a dying tyrant?
I thought being Jasper's Luna was all you ever wanted.
Her words stabbed like a blade. Once, they would have been true. Once, I would have clung to the dream of being Jasper's Luna until my hands bled. But not anymore. Last night's memory rose unbidden, dragging me under. Through my bedroom window, I'd seen them. Jasper at the gate, his arms wrapped around Bianca as though she were air itself. Something he couldn't survive without.
Bianca, you saved me. I swear to the moon goddess, I'll only love you.
What about your mate, Tessa?
He hesitated only a breath.
Once I'm Alpha, I'll reject her.
Then he kissed her, long and deep, as though sealing his vow with her lips. The sight had hollowed me out completely. It wasn't the first time he betrayed me, but it was the final one. I blinked back to the present, my eyes cold, my voice steadier than ever.
I don't want Jasper anymore. I'll reject him.
Marcus and Gloria exchanged a stunned glance, their disbelief slowly softening into something else. Approval, greed. Gloria's lips curved, her eyes gleaming like a snake's. Marcus leaned forward, scotch forgotten.
But I have one condition.
What condition?
I held his gaze, unflinching.
I want my mother's entire inheritance. Every cent, cash, all of it.
The words hit him like a blow. His face froze, then shifted between shock and anger.
Tessa, how dare you?
$10 million to buy your precious little daughter's future. Fair trade, isn't it?
Gloria's gasp echoed through the room, and Marcus's scotch glass cracked in his grip. But I didn't flinch.
Darling, if Bianca marries Jasper, that money's nothing.
She clutched Marcus's arm, voice syrupy and sharp as lacquer. She always had that way of sounding like someone else's kindness borrowed and put on display.
Fine, I'll need 2 weeks to raise it.
2 weeks. Perfect. I turned away from them both, the practiced smile slipping as soon as my back was turned. My wolf Julia needs 2 weeks to regain full strength, I thought. 2 weeks, Jasper? And we're done. Walking out into the sunlight felt like stepping between worlds. The air was sharp, the day too ordinary for the storm I'd set spinning. I kept my breath steady. If they wanted to play chess with fates and fortunes, I'd bring my own pieces. That night, I met Zoe at our usual spot, the bar that smelled of lemon oil and varnish, where the music kept people occupied and the smoke made them confess things they'd never admit sober. Zoe's face lit up the moment she saw me. She was the kind of friend who made me feel less like a heartbroken she-wolf and more like the one trying to survive.
You're really marrying King Alaric? Everyone says he's dangerous. You could end up ruined.
I've got my mother's inheritance now. If he's a monster, I can walk away.
The words felt foreign and fierce in my mouth. Freedom tastes like metal and cold coin, brutal but real.
Jasper's such a villain.
I let a bitter smile crease my lips.
He doesn't love me. I'll reject him in 2 weeks at his alpha ceremony. Enough about him. I'm buying us something good.
I rose, heading to the bar.
2 martinis.
Behind me, Bianca's sugary voice chimed in like a bell you only hear when you don't want to.
Jasper, I want a martini too.
I turned. Bianca lounged on Jasper's arm, her smile polished, her fingers whirring the edge of a diamond I knew had just been gifted. Jasper's profile was all cold angles and contained charm. He looked perfectly at ease in the orbit she'd made for him.
What a coincidence, Tessa. Here for drinks too.
The bartender set 2 martinis on the counter and then paused, looking at the two of us.
Sorry, last two.
Bianca's eyes went wide, all fake innocence.
Tessa, can I have yours? I just turned legal. Never had a drink before.
Liar. At 15, you were already sneaking Dad's whiskey. And when he caught you, you didn't just lie. You threw me under the bus, swore I was the one corrupting you. Daddy's perfect little angel, my ass. My hands curled into fists before my head could stop them.
Save the act. I'm not playing along with your good girl routine.
I dropped 2 crisp hundreds on the counter.
2 martinis.
Jasper slid $100 bills across the bar, with the casual contempt of someone paying for a favor they always expect. The bartender hesitated, then shrugged and took the money.
Sorry, Tessa. You know Jasper's the future alpha.
Bianca clung to Jasper's arm, all adoration and soft laughter.
You always spoil me, Jasper. Yesterday, you even gifted me this $10,000 diamond necklace. I'm so lucky.
Anything to make you happy.
He gave Bianca a gentle smile and didn't even spare me a glance. Right, you'll spend every cent on her, I thought. And the world narrowed to the small hot ache that lived beneath my sternum. For 3 years, I'd worked on this pack like a woman laying brick after brick. For him, it was a platform to stand on, to lean on, to claim. He hadn't even remembered my birthday. I breathed in and out until the rage settled into something colder and more useful. I reached for my checkbook. The bartender looked up, interested in the sudden twist.
$100,000. For every bottle in this bar.
I met Jasper's eyes directly, feeling the heat of his stare like a challenge. Silence fell like snow. Conversations thinned, though his jaw dropped. Even the bartender's hand trembled over the bottles. Then, because this was the part where I wanted the world to know I wasn't a trembling girl to be scolded or bargained with, I turned and laid down $100,000 check on the counter.
Now, I'll take my martini.
Jasper's face changed. The casual arrogance folded into furious, flatly controlled anger.
Are you going to go against me, Tessa?
I just don't want anyone to take my stuff.
300 grand. I own this place now.
Jasper slid a sleek black card across the counter, his expression cold and certain. The bartender shifted uneasily, like handling Jasper's money might curse him. Before I could breathe, Bianca stepped in, her voice syrupy sweet, her eyes glittering with cruelty.
Tessa, stop. You don't even have 100 grand. You really think you can outbid our future alpha?
Her words hit me like a slap, but I didn't let her see me break. I fixed my gaze on hers, icy and unflinching. Yesterday, I only had my mother's trust fund. In 2 weeks, I'd have $10 million. The thought steadied me, burning inside like a hidden weapon. My hand didn't shake as I slapped down the check. The crack of paper against wood cut through the music.
500,000.
Bianca's smile wavered. Her lips twitched, faltered.
Where'd you get so much of money? From Alpha Jason using the pack's wealth?
It's my money, none of your business.
I didn't blink. Jasper's frown deepened, his voice rose with disbelief.
Your money? Don't be so funny. You're nothing without me, Tessa.
His gaze dragged over me like claws.
Everything you own, your clothes, your shoes, your jewelry, I gave you. And now you're using my money to compete with me? Over 2 F times kecking drinks?
The words cut deeper than he knew. Heat rose in my face. Anger, shame, heartbreak tangled in one unbearable knot. Is that all I am to you, Jasper? Nothing but your charity case?
Is that what you think?
My voice cracked under the weight of it. For a moment, he hesitated. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. And then Bianca's smirk bloomed again, smug and poisonous. Something inside me snapped. I ripped the earrings from my ears, the sharp tug stinging my skin. I hurled them at his chest, my hands shaking with fury.
These? 18th birthday. You gave them to me after my first shift.
Jasper caught them, eyes flashing.
Tessa, what are you doing?
But I wasn't finished. I kicked off my heels, the floor cool and biting beneath my bare feet. I gripped the shoes tight, my rage trembling through every muscle.
These, your sorry I stood you up gift.
I hurled them at him. He caught one, stunned into silence. My breath shuddered as I reached for the zipper of my dress. The sound tore through the room, cruelly loud. I stepped out of it, left standing in nothing but my bra and underwear. Gasps rippled around us. Heat burned my skin, but I refused to cover myself.
This? You gave it to me after forgetting my birthday last year.
I threw it at him, the fabric smacking against his chest. Jasper clutched it with the earrings and shoe, his jaw clenched so tight I thought it might break. He stormed toward me, his presence like a thundercloud about to strike.
Tessa Ashford, enough. You pissed me off for 2 martinis?
Tears blurred my vision, but I stood my ground. My chest heaved, my voice broke, but I didn't stop.
Jasper Bloodmoon, you disgust me.
Before he could move, I grabbed both martinis from the counter. My hand didn't tremble. I threw them. The liquor splashed across his face in a glittering spray. It soaked his hair, ran down his jaw, darkened his shirt. The bar gasped in unison. Even Bianca froze, her perfect lips parted in shock. The empty glasses hit the floor with a piercing clang, shattering the silence. And then I turned and walked away, barefoot, my pulse pounding like war drums. The night air outside was brutal, cold enough to steal my breath.
Tessa,
She wrapped a coat around my trembling shoulders, her hands warm against my skin.
you alright?
Tears tracked silently down my face, cooling too fast in the night air.
10 more days, Jasper.
The sting of alcohol burned my eyes as I wiped my face with the back of my sleeve.
She'll be back. Give her 3 seconds. She'll come crawling, begging for forgiveness.
1 second, 2, 3. Silence.
Don't worry, Jasper. You're her mate. My wolfless sister wouldn't dare leave you.
Fine. Let her sulk. In 10 days, when I'm alpha, she'll be on her knees, begging for my forgiveness. 100 times over.
But unease gnawed at me beneath the bravado. Tessa had walked out on me. Publicly, in front of everyone. That had never happened before. I hadn't contacted Jasper for a week, immersing myself entirely in pack affairs. I was still his mate, still bound by duty, and I needed to fulfill my responsibilities. As Luna before I left for good, the forest was quieter than the bar had been, but no less suffocating. Shadows stretched between the trees, branches clawing at the fading sky. I kept to the edge of Blood Moon's territory, every step measured, every breath sharp. My senses strained for danger. Rogues had been spotted near the border twice this month. I had no time for distractions, until Bianca emerged from the trees ahead, her smugness written across every inch of her face.
I heard you're marrying that cursed king. The brute one everyone fears. How romantic.
My pulse spiked, but I didn't let it show.
Step aside, Bianca. I'm working. Don't get in my way.
Working? You're no Luna. Stop pretending you matter.
Her eyes gleamed as she leaned closer, voice dropping to a poisonous whisper.
Did you know Jasper spent last night with me?
I froze. She tilted her head slowly, deliberately, baring her neck like a trophy. A fresh love bite glowed red against her pale skin, still raw, still marked.
He promised me once he's alpha, he'll mark me right here.
My jaw clenched so hard it ached. My fist curled, nails biting deep into my palms. Heat roared through me, anger, humiliation, something sharper than pain. But before I could answer, the forest shifted. A low guttural growl split the silence. From the shadows, 2 massive rogue wolves prowled into view. Their eyes glowed amber in the dying light, their bodies taut with hunger and rage. Foam flecked their muzzles. Their ribs showed beneath matted fur. Desperate. Dangerous. Rogues! Bianca's smirk shattered into terror. They circled us slowly, muscles coiled, teeth bared. I planted my feet, every nerve in my body screaming. Julia stirred weakly inside me, still recovering, still too fragile to shift. I can't shift, I realized, ice flooding my veins. Not yet, not now. My heart thundered, but I refused to step back.
Help me, Tessa, do something.
The first rogue lunged before her cry had even finished. It slammed into her with brutal force, throwing her to the ground. Her scream ripped through the trees, raw and panicked. The second wolf charged me, faster than lightning, a blur of teeth and claws. I raised my arm in a desperate block, but its claws raked across my forearm in one vicious swipe. Fire tore through my flesh. Blood sprayed, hot and bright, soaking my sleeve. Pain stole my breath. My knees buckled. Then, a roar split the forest, powerful enough to rattle the leaves, to shake the ground beneath my feet.
Get away from her.
I spun, vision blurred with pain, and saw him. He burst into the clearing like a force of nature, his eyes blazing red, his body trembling with barely restrained fury. His hands twisted midair, morphing into clawed fists, half man, half beast. Power rolled off him in waves, suffocating and absolute, making the rogue wolves hesitate for the first time. And in that terrifying, impossible moment, the truth hit me. Jasper wasn't here for Bianca. He was here for me. The rogue's snarl split the clearing as it pinned Bianca to the dirt, teeth snapping inches from her throat. Jasper launched forward in a blur, his fury shaking the trees. With brutal force, he kicked the beast off her, sending it crashing against a trunk with a sickening thud. Bianca whimpered beneath him, wide-eyed but alive.
Jasper, help me.
For a split second, I thought he'd turn, that his blazing eyes, my mate's eyes, would find me. But Jasper didn't even glance my way. Instead, he bent down, scooped Bianca into his arms like she was the most precious thing in the world, and bolted into the trees without looking back. I stood frozen, the air gone from my lungs. My blood was still dripping onto the forest floor, marking the dirt red.
He didn't even give me a glance.
For a long beat, I watched him go, every step taking him farther from me. Anger flared, sharp and hot. But beneath it was an ache I had been carrying for 3 years. 3 years ago, in the heat of the fire, the pitch of smoke. The way my wolf had roared down into my bones, as I threw myself between him and death. The image of my own hands, burning and empty, returned and sat heavy in my chest. I remembered forcing my power into him, until there was nothing left to give. Feeling my own wolf drift away like a tide. I remembered waking hollow, the way the pack turned their heads. Whispering wolfless-like, it was a curse during last 3 years. Bianca's laughs, the way she'd tilt her head and ask the room, loud enough for everyone to hear, does she even have a wolf? As if that made me less. I had risked everything for him, for the man who now ran into the trees, carrying the woman who had been the one he loved. The humiliation of years, jobs done, favors given, loyalty shrugged off, pressed down. It tasted metal, and for a moment I thought I might vomit. The remaining rogues circled, low growls rattling from their throats. My body shook from blood loss, my vision tunneling, but I refused to collapse. Then her voice came, steady, familiar, a piece of me I thought I'd lost. Tessa, my wolf, Julia said inside my mind, strong and sure.
My power is almost fully restored.
My breath hitched, strength rippled through my veins. Suddenly my vision sharpened, every leaf, every shadow alive with detail. The world shifted, and then my eyes flashed gold.
Get out of this land now.
The command ripped from me like thunder. The rogues froze, eyes wide, their feral rage collapsing into terror. They whimpered, tails tucked, before scattering back into the forest as if chased by fire. I stood trembling, clutching my wounded arm, the golden glow fading from my sight. The power left me shaking but alive.
7 more days, Jasper. 7 more days, and I'm gone.
The sharp smell of antiseptic clung to the air in the pack hospital. White walls, humming machines, and the sting of disinfectant in my nose. I adjusted my sleeve over the fresh bandage, my arm throbbing with every movement. The door slammed open. I jerked, heart lurching, as Jasper stormed in. His presence filled the treatment room of the pack hospital, his fury burning like fire.
What the hell were you thinking?
About what?
You're supposed to be the future Luna. His voice cracked like a whip. And you just stood there while rogues attacked Bianca?
A hollow laugh almost bubbled up, but I swallowed it.
Your precious Bianca has her wolf. She didn't need me.
He grabbed my injured arm mid-sentence. Pain lanced through me, white hot, making me hiss.
Stop lying. You're just jealous she has my love.
Jealous? I forced myself to meet his gaze with no flinching. Let's be clear, your Bianca provoked me during my patrol. If not her, I'd have noticed the rogues approaching. As the future Alpha, it should be your duty to protect all pack members. Why you left me there?
A flash of guilt crossed Jasper's face. After a long moment, he let go, shoving my arm back. The jolt of pain almost stole my breath, but I held his stare.
Just face reality, Tessa. You're my Luna, but I will never love you.
The words landed like knives, cutting through the last fragile threads I'd clung to. But instead of breaking me, something inside me loosened. A small, almost amused laugh slipped past my lips. Not bitter, not cruel, just tired.
Perfect, because I'm leaving.
He froze, the confidence drained from his face, replaced by shock.
What did you just say?
I smiled faintly, the bandage tight around my arm. For the first time in years, the pain didn't matter.
After your Alpha ceremony in a week, I'm leaving. I want to travel.
Jasper stands over me like a storm that never broke. Jasper snorted, sharp and cold, as though my words were nothing more than background noise.
Go wherever you want. I won't stop you.
My phone buzzed on the metal tray beside me. I picked it up, pressed it to my ear.
Tessa, this Friday is your mother's birthday. She and your sister want you to come to the party.
I froze. For a heartbeat, the world tilted. Then I laughed, bitter and hollow.
My mom died years ago, and I don't have any mom and sister.
Tessa, you...
I hung up before my father's cold words came out. When I looked up, Jasper was frowning, like he'd just witnessed something he couldn't make sense of.
They're your family. Why wouldn't you go?
I tilted my head, eyes sharp despite the exhaustion in my bones.
Do you want me to go?
He hesitated, then nodded once.
You're about to be Luna of this pack. Bianca still treats you like a sister. What could you possibly resent?
I gave him a smile with no warmth in it, just edges sharp enough to cut.
Fine, I'll go.
The Ashford house garden gleamed under golden daylight. The air carried the sound of soft laughter, of clinking glass and easy conversation. I stepped inside wearing a plain evening dress, but my steps faltered when I saw them. Bianca curled into Gloria's side, algae-eyed innocence, while Marcus looked down at her with paternal pride written clear across his face. My throat closed. My fingers dug into the hem of my dress, nails biting fabric. A memory unspooled, sharp and cruel. I was turning 10 after my mom died in 10 days. I stood in that same house with the teddy bear that my mom gifted me clutched tight to my chest. Marcus entered, smiling, a little girl at his side. Bianca, her curls bouncing as she ran in.
Tessa, this is your new mom and your little sister.
She squealed, hugging it, while Marcus lifted her high, spinning her in the air, both of them laughing. I stood there alone, empty-armed. No one looked back. The memory shattered. I tipped back a glass of champagne, swallowing hard.
Drinking alone, Tessa?
Spare me. What do you want?
Daddy says you're moving into the royal palace in 3 days. Once you're gone, Jasper's mine.
Take him. I don't keep trash.
Your mom was Dad's mate, but she still couldn't keep him. You're just like her, weak, useless, a loser. You'll lose, just like she did.
Bianca's gaze flicked over my shoulder. Jasper had just entered the garden. In one smooth motion, she grabbed my hand, splashing champagne across herself. Then she slapped her own cheek. The crack echoed.
Tessa, I'm sorry, please don't hit me again.
Bianca, what happened?
It's nothing. Tessa's just mad you saved me yesterday. It's all my fault.
Tessa, she's your sister. How dare you?
Apologize to her. Now.
I held the glass so long, I could feel the chill bite my palm. My lips curled in a mocking smile. I let go. The crystal shattered against the flagstones in a scatter of bright pieces. I moved faster than I felt, grabbed the remaining glass from Marcus' hand and tipped it. Champagne ran down Bianca's face in cold ribbons. The table went silent. Then I slapped her sharp, quick, the sound clean and final. She gasped, clutching her cheek like she'd been struck for real. Marcus and Gloria recoiled, faces twisting with shock and outrage. Jasper's eyes flared with something I once mistook for devotion, and now only saw as ownership. He ground his teeth.
Tessa Ashford.
See that? This time it's really me. Check the footage if you don't believe it.
I didn't wait for them to look.
You guys enjoy the party. I'm going shopping.
I turned, and every step away felt like a small, deliberate defiance. Tears glinted at the edges of my lashes, but they were tears of cold fire, not of pleading.
Jasper, don't blame her. She can't handle you always siding with me.
I'll make her pay for this.
I kept shopping luxuries for days. The street air hit me like truth, bitter cold and waking. I ducked into a boutique, pockets heavy with the show of a woman who could buy whatever she wanted, trying to hide how hollow I felt inside. I told Zoe I'd wait at the cafe and step back into daylight with bags swinging from both arms. Then the world slammed me from behind. A fist struck the base of my skull. Stars exploded. My knees folded. The world went black and the phone skittered from my hand and rang once on the pavement before silence swallowed it.
Tessa.
Zoe's distant voice sliced through the black. When I woke, light stung. My head throbbed with a slow drum. I tasted metal and salt. I tried to move and my arms were useless. They were bound. I lurched upright and realized I was in a small room that smelled of stale alcohol and damp cloth. Bottles rolled under the table like abandoned promises. My body ached in new places. My lips were split on bleeding. Finger marks branded my cheeks. Someone poured champagne over my hair. Cold water and shame ran down my spine. One of the masked men spoke into a phone, low and impatient.
Jasper, we've slapped her 20 times, dumped 20 bottles in her.
The voice threaded through the room like a verdict. My chest tightened as a second man laughed, the sound ugly and small. Far away, somewhere in the dark affabbed room, Thaddeus said, "Oh, mean safety." Jasper stood with his phone to his ear. I imagined the light from his window on his face as he huffed.
This is what she gets for bullying Bianca.
The thought his casual cruelty was a white-hot thing in me. Tears tracked down, but they didn't they've time to fall.
Tessa, fully restored now.
My wolf's voice rang soft inside my mind, steady and proud. She pushed me to stand up. I felt the old power orbiting like a planet. Something in me snapped. My eyes flared like the sun had been locked inside me, and someone finally opened the chest. The masked men froze mid-motion, the dripping champagne trembling off their hands. Then the world filled with a sound I hadn't heard in years, a clear, sacred growl. I shifted. The white wolf stepped out of the shimmer, and for a breath I felt every bruise fall away. My wounds closed under her gaze as if the moon itself had licked them clean. The phone clicked dead on the other end. The two men spun, faces going slack with a terror I'd seen only once before, on the night I gave everything to save a boy, who then let me be called wolfless. I stood, the bindings loosening as the wolf's power threaded through my limbs. I stepped up behind them, my shadow falling long, my eyes shining gold. They tried to raise their fists, they could not. In a breath, they were on the floor, battered, gasping, clutching at their bruises as if an invisible hand had shown them how small they were. I shifted back and wiped my face with the back of my hand and tasted salt that wasn't only from the water. My chest felt hollow and full at once. I turned away from the broken members and looked at the little room where they'd tried to break me. I let the truth sink in, like cold steel warming. For years, I had given myself away, piece by piece, my power, my heart, my dignity. For years, I had let their names and laughter shape me. No more. I let out a breath that was almost a laugh and almost a sob. I straightened, the bandage there, but the hurt dulling to a useful ache.
Jasper, this is the last tear I'll ever shed for you. Tomorrow, we're done.
The main hall of the Blood Moon Pack House was alive with anticipation. Banners embroidered with the pack emblem swayed gently from the balcony above, the polished floor reflecting sunlight, streaming through tall windows. Marcus, Gloria, Jason, and Zoe sat among a handful of pack members, eyes fixed on the podium. Their whispers died as the ceremony began. I stood in the front row, masked, calm, detached. My posture was perfect, betraying nothing of the storm inside. Marcus hovered at my left, his expression unreadable. Bianca and Gloria, draped in elegant gowns, lingered beside him, their smiles a mask for curiosity and mischief.
Don't forget your promise.
I never break my word.
I replied smoothly, my tone measured, polite. Jasper stepped to the podium. The air shifted as his presence claimed the room. He wore a sharp suit, the kind that made him look untouchable, poised. Every eye followed him.
I will be the new alpha of the Blood Moon Pack, starting today. And as you all know, my mate, Tessa, had no wolf. She was weak and was even attacked by 2 rogues a week ago, and even kidnapped and injured yesterday.
I felt the tension in the room tighten, heard the whispers rustle through the crowd. Bianca's smug expression burned, like a flare in my peripheral vision.
But now, I stand here to tell you all, I will not abandon her.
He dropped to one knee in front of me, hand extended.
Tessa Ashford, will you be my Luna?
The room held its breath, every eye turned to me. I let out a cold, clear laugh, echoing through the hall, slicing through the anticipation like a knife.
I, Tessa Ashford, reject you, Jasper Bloodmoon, as my mate.
The smile on his face crumbled. His eyes narrowed, storm clouds gathering behind his perfectly sculpted features.
What did you just say?
He barked, leaping to his feet. His hands found my chin, gripping hard, flames of fury in his gaze. I turned my head sharply, wrenching free from his grasp. My voice was steady, controlled, carrying the weight of years of hurt and resolve.
You really think sending 2 idiots to kidnap me, to slap me 20 times, will teach me a lesson?
Slowly, deliberately, I removed my mask. I met his eyes, his jaw slackened. Surprise, shock, disbelief, every emotion painted across his face. My face was unharmed, flawless, and in that moment, I felt the power of years spent building strength and reclaiming my life. Bianca froze, her expression faltering.
You? How is this possible?
Jasper's voice dropped to a whisper, almost lost in the hum of shocked murmurs. Jason stepped forward, guilt shadowing his features.
Tessa, I'm sorry for everything my stupid son did to you.
Alpha Jason, please allow him to inherit the alpha position, even after I've refused him.
Jasper's fists clenched, veins tight. He stormed toward me, voice a roar that could split stone.
Enough, Tessa. You did all this, just to get my attention, to make me love you, right?
No, Jasper, I don't want you anymore. Accept my rejection.
My fists clenched so tightly that his knuckles shone white. I gritted his teeth, fury coiling like a serpent ready to strike. Once I become alpha, she'll regret this. I'll make her kneel, begging me to forgive her, I thought. Every muscle taut. Fine. My hand shot toward Tessa, clearly feeling the mate bond, winding tightly between our wrists. I, Jasper Blood Moon, future alpha of the Blood Moon Pack, formally accept your rejection, Tessa Ashford. A sharp snap split the air. The mate bond snapped. I staggered back, clutching my chest, holding back the I endured, the heart-wrenching agony of a broken mate bond. My wolf howled inside my head. I locked my gaze on Tessa, a mixture of pain, shock, and barely contained rage. You'll come crawling back to me.
I won't.
My voice was calm, steady, resolute. I turned on my heel, walking through the hall without hesitation, leaving his stunned, dark eyes fixed on my retreating figure. Every step felt like reclaiming myself, every breath a declaration of freedom. By the time I reached the Ashford house, the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the front gate. My luggage was packed, neatly lined beside me. Marcus, Gloria, and Bianca watched in silence, the air thick with anticipation.
Here's your 10 million.
Tessa, I'm really going to miss you.
Need me to pack some snacks for you.
I let out a humorless chuckle, my eyes cold.
Cut the act.
I grabbed my luggage, ready to leave. Then 3 sleek black SUVs glided into the driveway, with precise formation, their polished bodies catching the sunlight, reflecting the grandeur of power and wealth. 4 royal guards stepped out in sharp black suits, their movements so exact. The lead of them should be the royal Beta Daniel. He was tall, with a lean athletic build, and his brown curls fell loosely around his forehead. A constellation of small freckles dusted the bridge of his nose, giving him an unexpectedly approachable, almost boyish charm. His hazel eyes held a quiet warmth, and every gesture was precise, polite, entirely composed.
Miss Ashford, King Alaric has sent us to escort you.
I felt my lips curve into a faint, polite smile.
Thank you.
My gaze lingered on Daniel for a moment longer than necessary, polished, courteous, and composed. If the beta was so impeccably mannered, perhaps the stories about Alpha King Alaric weren't entirely true. Perhaps he wasn't the ruthless monster everyone whispered about. A spark of curiosity flickered inside me, hidden behind my calm exterior. Bianca's gasp broke my thoughts.
Mom, those SUVs are limited edition supercars. The Alpha King must be insanely rich.
Rich or not, he won't live past 30.
I adjusted the strap of my suitcase, watching Daniel gesture toward the cars. He radiated competence and quiet authority, a sharp contrast to the chaos of my past 3 years. I couldn't help but wonder if this was Alaric's world. Maybe it was worth seeing for myself.
I drove my own luxury car, the wind teasing my hair, a smug satisfaction curling at my lips. Tessa will see Bianca declared my mate today. She will beg. She will crawl to me, desperate for my love. I will enjoy every humiliating second. At that time, I may consider fucking her once or twice, maybe, and then letting her be my mistress. The road stretched ahead, smooth and empty, when my peripheral vision caught something unusual. 3 sleek, black SUVs glided past in perfect formation, their engines silent, but their presence impossible to ignore. The lead car pulled ahead with a subtle glide, polished to perfection. My eyes narrowed through the tinted window, curiosity prickling at my pride. Only the royal family could command vehicles like that. Ultra-limited editions, worth millions, each car as symbol of status, power, and wealth. And why were they here? In my pack's territory, of all places. Then I saw her, upright in the lead SUV, face visible through the lowered rear window, wind teasing her dark hair, calm, composed, utterly untouchable. My pulse skipped. Tessa? My heart slammed against my ribs as my eyes locked on hers. And just like that, she was gone from my reach. Every muscle in me coiled, every instinct screaming to chase, to dominate. But she had stepped beyond the leash, and all I could do was watch. What happened? Why is she in the royal car? Where is she going? The tires screeched as I pulled up outside the Ashford house. Gravel crunched beneath my boots as I strode to the gate, every nerve buzzing. A faint trace of Tessa's scent still lingered in the air, lavender and rain. It clawed at me, refusing to let go. Marcus and Gloria were waiting near. The steps Bianca pressed close to them, like a loyal pup. Where is Tessa?
She's gone. She left the pack this afternoon.
Gone. Where?
To take Bianca's place. She's marrying Alpha King Alaric.
The words punched the air from my lungs. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Alaric, that cursed bastard, the one everyone says won't live past 30. But Marcus only folded his arms, his silence confirmation enough. A hot rush of disbelief surged through me. Tessa, the girl I thought too timid to defy me, rejected me hours ago, and then walked straight into the arms of my greatest rival, the Alpha King. Bianca's voice cut in syrupy sweet.
She didn't even say goodbye to us, didn't even look back. She practically ran into those fancy royal cars, like she couldn't wait to leave us behind. Tessa literally wanted the title, Luna Queen.
I turned my head slowly toward Bianca, her lips, curved eyes glinting with triumph. So that was it. My chest tightened, then released into a bark of laughter. Of course, the wolfless nobody couldn't resist the crown. Figures, let her have it. A cursed Luna for a cursed king. Perfect match. But inside, my thoughts coiled darker. Alaric, the so-called Alpha King. Everyone whispered he wouldn't live past 30. No heir. Not true strength left. Blood Moon was already the most powerful pack on the continent. Once I inherited, I'd challenge him. Rip that crown straight off his dying head. And Tessa? She'd regret it. When I became king, she'd crawl back, begging me to forgive her. I wouldn't. I'd strip her down from Luna Queen to Omega, throw her in chains, make her choke on the humiliation she thought she'd escape. Marcus was still speaking, but I wasn't listening. My pulse hammered in my ears. The picture played again and again in my mind. Tessa stepping into those black SUVs, turning her back on me. Bianca beamed, clinging to my arm.
Jasper, you still have me.
I let her lean close, let her think she'd won. Her perfume was cloying, nothing like the clean rain scent that haunted me. Still, I reminded myself, Bianca had saved me once. She had given me back my life. How many times had I sworn, lying in that bed, that I would give her mine in return? I should love Bianca, I told myself. I owe her everything. She's loyal, devoted, willing to do anything for me. Not like Tessa, who walked away. When I became king, she'd crawl back. I wouldn't forgive her. The days after Tessa left blurred into one endless grind. At first, I told myself her absence meant nothing, that the pack would run smoother without her in it. Bianca would perform better than Tessa as the new Luna, but cracks began to show. Warriors argued over patrol routes. Reports went missing. Disputes broke out among the ranked families. The balance that had always held Blood Moon steady seemed to falter, and my workload tripled overnight. Every morning, the desk in my office mocked me. Tessa had kept everything ordered, precise, as if she'd anticipated what I needed before I even asked. Now, chaos ruled. I hated how often I caught myself thinking her name.
Jasper.
Chase shouldered into the office without knocking, his broad frame tense. He slapped a file down on the desk, scattering an already messy stack.
This is the third time this week the She-Wolves are complaining about supplies. Training schedules are a mess. Half of them don't even know who to report to anymore.
Handle it.
I've been handling it, but it's not my job to play Luna. If it were Tessa, none of this would even reach me. She'd have fixed it before sunrise.
The words lodged like a thorn. I didn't disagree. I couldn't. Chase exhaled hard, shaking his head.
Bianca's supposed to be Luna, but all she does is swipe your credit cards and parade her new wardrobe in front of the Omegas. The pack's losing respect. They're whispering.
I forced my voice steady, cool. Enough. Bianca saved my life. She's my mate. The pack will learn to respect her. His eyes narrowed, skeptical, but he didn't push further. He only muttered under his breath as he left, something that sounded like, if it were Tessa, they already would. I clenched my jaw until it ached. I wanted to shout, to silence the echo of truth in his words, but the memory arose anyway, cold water filling my lungs, the world going dark, and Bianca's desperate hands dragging me back. She was the one who'd given me air, given me another chance at life. How could I not protect her? How could I let anyone speak against her? Before I could bury the thought deeper, the office door banged open again. One of the patrol captains rushed in, breathless, mud streaked across his boots.
Jasper Rogue spotted on the eastern border, and Bianca was seen near the patrol grounds.
The pen snapped between my fingers, ink spilling across the papers. The eastern border smelled of smoke and damp earth. My warriors fanned out through the trees, but the rogues were long gone. Only trampled grass and snapped branches remained. And Bianca, she stumbled toward me the moment I appeared, eyes wet, face pale, arms flung wide.
Jasper!
Her voice cracked as she collapsed against my chest, trembling like a child.
I was camping here with a friend, then those rogues came out of nowhere. I was so scared.
Her perfume was cloying, sweet enough to choke. My hands hovered uselessly before resting stiffly at her back. For the 100th time, irritation gnawed at me. Bianca's answer to every crisis was always the same. Tears, clinging, waiting for me to fix it. Tessa never needed that. She'd grit her teeth, steady her shoulders, and solve the problem herself before anyone knew it existed. Who? My eyes lifted over Bianca's head. A man emerged from the shadows, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in casual clothes that reeked of bonfire smoke and beer. Not one of Blood Moon. You brought an outsider here? Bianca pulled back, shaking her head quickly, curls bouncing.
No, it's not like that. He's just a friend, nothing more. We were only camping. Then the rogues.
Friends don't wander into another pack's borders.
I'm sorry. He just invited me to celebrate his birthday.
But when Chase stepped forward, arms crossed, she latched tighter onto me, pressing her body close. As if she wanted the whole damned forest to see. Heat flared low in my stomach, despite myself. My jaw tightened, torn between pleasure and distaste. Chase's eyes flicked away, disgust barely hidden. The stranger shifted awkwardly, clearly aware of what Bianca was doing. I hated it. I hated that I enjoyed it. Hated that she flaunted herself so carelessly in front of other men. Tessa would never. In the office, she wore neat blouses, her skirts pressed, her hair pinned back. When visiting alphas tried to linger too close, she shut them down with nothing more than a cool glance and a polite, firm tone. Always dignified, always untouchable. And here I was, holding Bianca half draped over me, her camisole strap sliding down her shoulder, clinging as if I was her shield. My teeth ground together. Why the hell was I thinking of Tessa again? She was gone. At the royal palace now, caged as Luna Queen to a cursed king who wouldn't live past 30. She must be miserable. Perhaps in a few days, she'd realize her mistake. Perhaps she'd contact me, begging for a way back. And when she did, I'd decide whether to take her back or make her crawl. I lifted my arm, peeling Bianca gently but firmly off me. My voice was flat, commanding. Enough! You shouldn't be here. Go home. Bianca blinked up at me, pout, lingering.
I was so scared, Jasper.
Bianca's arms tightened around me again, her voice still quivering. I sighed. Bianca had saved me once. That debt clung to me like chains. No matter how tiresome, I couldn't cast her aside without dishonoring that moment.
The royal palace wasn't what I expected. I'd braced myself for cold stone walls, rows of weapons, the suffocating air of a cage. Instead, sunlight spilled through tall, arched windows, warming polished floors and walls lined with soft cream and gold. The servants who passed me, maids in neat uniforms, footmen in tailored coats, bowed with quiet respect. Their smiles were gentle, unforced. Ashford House had always felt like a stage play, Blood Moon's pack house like a battlefield. This place felt like a home. Beta Daniel led me through a corridor that smelled faintly of sandalwood and citrus. When he pushed open the double doors of the royal receiving room, my pulse skipped. He was there, Alpha King Alaric. He stood by the window, sunlight catching on the white shirt stretched across his chest. Black dress trousers framed long, powerful legs, muscle shifting easily beneath fabric cut to fit only him. His skin was sun-bronzed, healthy, nothing like the sickly pallor the rumors had painted. Broad shoulders, a chest that seemed to strain the buttons of his shirt, a presence that filled the room before he even spoke. His icy blue eyes locked on me, and my breath hitched. My moon goddess, he was literally handsome.
Tessa, finally, I see you again. My Luna Queen.
My lips parted. Again?
I don't remember meeting you before, Your Majesty.
Just call me Alaric.
From his pocket, he produced something small, delicate, a pearl hairpin faintly gleaming under the light.
3 years ago, at the masquerade prom, you dropped this when I bumped into you. I never forgot. That night, I fell for you.
The hairpin rested in his palm like proof of a memory I couldn't reach. Heat rose to my cheeks. My heart thudded hard against my ribs, traitorous and alive. Back then, I'd only seen Jasper, only followed Jasper. But Alaric, he had seen me. He remembered.
Inside me, Julia stirred, her voice sure, fierce. Tessa, this is no accident. Alaric is our second chance, a gift from the moon goddess herself.
My fingers curled against my skirt, trying to steady the tremor in them. For the first time in years, my heart didn't ache, it raced. Alaric's gaze never left mine, steady and far too tender for the man the world painted as a tyrant.
I knew you weren't happy in Ashford. I knew Jasper was betraying you with Bianca. That's why I chose Bianca at first. That's why I allowed the rumors about curses and cruelty to spread. I wanted her to retreat. I wanted you to see the truth.
His words landed with a weight I wasn't prepared for. I stared at him, my heart thudding.
You did all of that for me?
For us, the moon goddess rarely grants a second chance. Tessa, I really appreciate she arranged me as your second mate. Could you please not turn away from it?
My pulse quickened. Julia stirred restlessly inside me, whispering the very thing I tried to deny. But could I really believe that? I dragged in a breath, studying him. The broad set of his shoulders beneath the crisp white shirt, the strength coiled in every line of his body. As what he said, he wasn't look cursed. He didn't look weak. He looked impossibly alive.
You're impossibly handsome.
I admitted, the words slipping out before I could stop them. Heat burned my cheeks.
And what you say, it moves me, but I can't. I don't know if I have the courage to accept another bond, to trust again.
He didn't falter. Instead, a faint smile tugged at his mouth, warm enough to make my doubts feel brittle.
Then take your time. I will never rush you. All I ask is that you let me prove my devotion.
He gestured toward the tall carved doors at the end of the hall.
I've prepared a chamber for you, the finest in the palace. Rest, Tessa. No chains, no fear, only freedom, until you decide.
Freedom. The word almost stole my breath. After years of quiet suffocation, it felt foreign on my tongue. My eyes lingered on him, searching for the monster the world claimed he was. But all I saw was a man with steady eyes and a heart laid bare. And perhaps that, more than any rumor of curses or cruelty, was the most dangerous thing of all. The palace no longer felt like the cage I'd feared when I first arrived. In fact, after only a week, it felt strangely like home. Everyone I met treated me with warmth I had never expected. The guards bowed with respect, the servants offered smiles instead of cold stares, and Allison, Daniel's mate, took me under her wing. She walked me through the countless halls, introducing me to every department, every hidden corner, until I felt less like a guest and more like a part of something. And Julia, my wolf, was whole again. The strength that had been suppressed for so long now surged through me like fire and light. With her full power returned, my healing ability was unlike anything I had ever known. Wounds closed beneath my touch, fevers broke, even the most desperate injuries yielded. I found myself drawn again and again to the Royal Hospital. Within 2 weeks, I was no longer just helping, I was named the chief physician. The title should have felt overwhelming, but instead it felt natural, as though I had finally stepped into who I was always meant to be. Life here was nothing like Blood Moon, nothing like the suffocating role I'd been forced into there. And then there was Alaric. It surprised me how easy it was to be near him. He never pressured, never demanded, only gave me space and respect. And yet, in those quiet hours we shared, I discovered more. His wit, his depth, the way he could debate philosophy one moment and make me laugh the next. We both loved chess, and many nights ended with us hunched over the board, pieces scattered, our conversation drifting long past midnight. That night was no different. The air in the study was warm, firelight flickering against polished wood. I leaned forward, considering my rook's next move, while Alaric's eyes lingered on me with a quiet patience that made my chest ache.
You're stalling.
I'm thinking, this is strategy, not stalling.
He chuckled, low and rich, and the sound settled over me like a blanket. I caught myself smiling back before I realized I was doing it. The knock at the door shattered the moment. Daniel stepped inside, his expression grim. I sat back instinctively, tension rising in my chest.
What is it?
Daniel's eyes flicked toward me, hesitation clear, before he said,
Breaking news. Jason, the old Alpha of Blood Moon Pack. He's gravely ill. The new Alpha Jasper had heard of the Royal Hospital's new chief physician. Her healing abilities are said to surpass anything seen before.
His gaze held mine now, steady, almost apologetic.
Alpha Jasper has offered $1 million if she will save him.
The chess piece slipped from my hand, clattering against the board. My breath caught. Jason, Jasper. Their names pulled me back like claws to everything I had tried to leave behind. The betrayals, the humiliation, the weight of a bond that had been shattered. Julia stirred restlessly inside me, not with pain this time, but with something sharper. And across from me, Alaric's gaze had darkened, steady as stone, waiting for my choice. The silence stretched between us, heavy as iron. Daniel stood near the door, waiting. Alaric's gaze remained fixed on me, steady and patient, as though he had all the time in the world for me to decide. My chest tightened. Jason, the old alpha who had always treated me with kindness when no one else in that pack had. The man who'd praised my work, who'd acknowledged my worth even when his own son couldn't see it.
If you don't wish to go, Daniel will decline on your behalf with my decree. No one will question it.
His voice was gentle, but there was steel beneath it, a quiet promise that he would shield me from anything I didn't want to face. The offer should have been a relief. Instead, it only made the ache in my chest deepen.
Jason was one of the few kind wolves in Blood Moon who truly cared about me. He's dying. I should help him.
Alaric's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Approval, perhaps, or pride.
Then I'm coming with you. I'll pose as one of your warrior escorts. You won't face them alone.
Warmth bloomed in my chest, unexpected and overwhelming. I'd spent years navigating Blood Moon on my own, enduring Jasper's coldness, my dad's ignorance, Bianca's cruelty. The idea of someone standing beside me, not behind me, not above me, but beside me felt almost foreign.
Thank you.
Always, Tessa.
The car rolled to a stop at the edge of Blood Moon territory. I stared out the window at the familiar tree line, the stone gates marking the pack's borders, the dirt path that led to the pack house. I'd walked that path 1,000 times. I'd run it in wolf form, worked until my hands bled for these people, given everything I had to make this place better, and I'd left it all behind. I thought I might feel sadness, nostalgia maybe, some ghost of the girl I'd been when I still believed Jasper would choose me. But all I felt was anger, cold, sharp anger at the years I'd wasted, at the humiliation Jasper had heaped on me, at the way he'd made me feel small, worthless, invisible, despite my tireless efforts to manage and grow his pack.
They don't deserve you, remember that.
I know, I won't forget.
Beside me, Alaric adjusted the simple warrior uniform he wore, his broad shoulders filling out the dark fabric in a way that made him look nothing like a subordinate. His presence was too commanding, too regal, but he'd insisted. Daniel sat in the front seat, silent and alert, while 2 other royal guards flanked the vehicle.
Ready?
Alaric asked quietly, his hand brushing mine where it rested on the seat between us.
Let's get this over with.
The gates opened. The pack house loomed ahead, exactly as I remembered it. Grand, imposing, a monument to Blood Moon's strength. Warriors lined the entrance, their expressions wary, curious. Word must have spread that the royal physician was arriving. I stepped out of the car, my spine straight, my chin high. The crisp autumn air bit at my skin, but I didn't flinch. I wore the Royal Hospital's insignia on my coat, the deep burgundy fabric tailored perfectly to my frame. My hair was pinned back sleek and professional. Nothing like the girl who used to stand in this very courtyard waiting for scraps of Jasper's attention. Alaric moved to stand just behind my left shoulder, close enough to protect, far enough to maintain the illusion. His presence was a steady anchor, and I drew strength from it. The pack house doors swung open. Jasper stepped out first. My breath caught, but I refused to let it show. He looked the same, tall, broad-supported, his brown slightly disheveled, as though he'd been running his hands through it. His jaw was tight, his expression carefully neutral, but his eyes locked onto the car, sharp and expectant. Bianca appeared beside him, clinging to his arm like a vine. She wore a pale pink dress that clung to her curves, her blonde curls tumbling over her shoulders. Her smile was saccharine performative, meant for whoever she thought was about to step out. I moved forward. The moment my face came into view, Jasper froze. His eyes went wide, his mouth parting slightly, shock rippling across his features like a stone dropped into still water. The color drained from his face.
Tessa?
My name fell from his lips like a curse, disbelief thick in his voice. Bianca's smile faltered, confusion flickering across her face before hardening into something colder. Her grip on Jasper's arm tightened. I stopped a few paces away, close enough to see every flicker of emotion that crossed Jasper's face, shock, confusion, and then something sharper, anger maybe, or betrayal.
Good. Alpha Jasper, I'm here on behalf of the Royal Hospital. You requested the chief physician to treat your father.
His jaw clenched. His eyes raked over me, taking in the royal insignia, the confident set of my shoulders, the coldness in my tone. This wasn't the Tessa he remembered, the one who'd bent over backward to please him, who'd swallowed every insult, every dismissal, every betrayal. That girl was gone.
You're the chief physician?
Is that a problem?
For a moment, he didn't answer. His throat worked, his hands curling into fists at his sides. Bianca's eyes darted between us, her expression tightening. Jasper stared at me as though I were a ghost, something that shouldn't exist. Bianca's eyes narrowed, her pretty features twisting into something ugly. Then she laughed, a high, brittle sound that grated against my ears.
Tessa, you're the chief physician? That's impossible.
Her eyes raked over me, contempt barely hidden beneath her smile.
You don't even have a wolf. You've never had healing abilities. How could you possibly?
She's right. Jasper's voice cut through the air, low and hard. His eyes bore into mine, searching for something, a crack, a weakness, proof that this was all some elaborate lie.
I've never seen you heal anyone, Tessa. Not once.
The accusation hung between us, heavy as a blade. My chest tightened, anger flaring hot and sharp beneath my ribs. Of course they would question me. Of course they couldn't believe I'd become something more than the silent, obedient girl they'd left behind. Julia snarled inside me, furious.
Let me show them. Let me tear that smug look off her face.
No, not yet. Let them dig their own graves.
Behind me, I felt Alaric shift, his presence suddenly darker, colder. The air around us seemed to thicken, pressure building like a storm about to break. I didn't need to look at him to know his expression had turned lethal. But before I could speak, Daniel stepped forward. His face was a mask of barely controlled fury, his eyes sharp as he moved to stand between me and Jasper. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of royal authority, each word precise and cutting.
Are you questioning the integrity of the Royal Hospital, Alpha Jasper? Or perhaps you doubt the judgment of Alpha King Alaric himself?
Jasper's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Bianca opened her mouth, but Daniel silenced her with a look that could have frozen fire. From inside his coat, Daniel produced a rolled document, the royal seal gleaming crimson and gold in the afternoon light. He unrolled it slowly, deliberately, holding it up so everyone could see.
This is the official appointment decree, signed and sealed by Alpha King Alaric, Chief Physician Tessa Ashford, head of the Royal Hospital, chosen for her unparalleled healing abilities.
He turned the document toward Jasper, letting him see the bold script, the unmistakable seal, proof that couldn't be denied.
Her abilities have saved countless lives in the royal palace. Wolves who were beyond hope, injuries that should have been fatal. She has earned her position through skill, dedication, and power.
His gaze shifted to Bianca, contempt flickering across his features.
So I ask again, do you wish to continue questioning the Alpha King's decree?
The courtyard went silent. Jasper's face had gone rigid, a muscle ticking in his jaw. His hands curled into fists at his sides, knuckles white. I could see the war raging behind his eyes, pride battling with necessity, disbelief clashing with the undeniable proof before him. Bianca's mouth opened and closed soundlessly, her face flushing red. She looked to Jasper, waiting for him to defend her, to challenge this somehow. But he couldn't, not without insulting the Alpha King himself. Finally, Jasper's voice came out flat, controlled, every word forced through clenched teeth.
No.
Daniel raised an eyebrow, waiting.
No problem at all.
Jasper added, the words bitter as poison. Liar. I could see it in every taut line of his body. The fury barely leashed beneath his skin, the shock still lingering in his eyes. He hadn't expected this, hadn't imagined I could rise so high, could stand before him wearing the authority of the royal court like armor, untouchable and beyond his reach. The girl he'd dismissed, humiliated, crushed beneath his boot, she was gone. And in her place stood someone he could no longer control. I let the silence stretch just long enough to savor it. Then I smiled, cool and sharp.
Good,
I said, my voice steady, professional, carrying none of the warmth I'd once wasted on him.
Then take me to Jason. I don't have time to waste. For a heartbeat, Jasper didn't move. His eyes burned into mine, something dark and unreadable flickering across his face. Regret, maybe, or fury at his own helplessness. Then he turned sharply on his heel, his movements stiff, controlled.
This way.
Bianca shot me a look of pure venom as I passed, her hands trembling at her sides, her lips pressed into a thin, bloodless line. But I didn't spare her a glance. She was nothing to me now, a shadow, a ghost of a life I'd outgrown. I moved forward, my steps measured and confident, the royal insignia on my coat catching the light. Behind me, Alaric fell into step, his presence a silent, steady anchor. Daniel followed, his expression still cold, protective. As I stepped through the doors of the pack house, the place that had once been my prison, I felt no sadness, no longing. Only cold, burning satisfaction and the quiet, fierce knowledge that I would never again be the girl they'd broken. I watched through the crack in the door as Tessa moved around Jason's sickbed, her hands glowing faintly with that impossible golden light.
It made my stomach twist. This wasn't supposed to happen. Tessa wasn't supposed to have a wolf. She wasn't supposed to have power. She was supposed to be nothing. A broken, discarded wolfless that Jasper had finally cast aside. But here she was, wearing the royal insignia like she belonged, her spine straight, her voice calm and steady as she spoke softly to the dying Alpha.
Jason's breathing had already steadied. The gray pallor that had clung to his skin for weeks was fading, replaced by the faintest hint of color. His chest rose and fell more easily, his fingers no longer trembling against the sheets. She was healing him. If Jason recovered, everything would fall apart. Jasper's claim to the Alpha position would weaken. The pack elders would question his leadership. Worse, Jason might convince Jasper to take Tessa back, to throw me aside like I was nothing.
I couldn't let that happen. Jason! Oh, thank the moon goddess you're awake. Just a small tug, a tiny adjustment, enough to make it look like an accident.
Bianca, stop. Step away from him, now.
I was just checking on him. I care about Jason. He's like family.
You were tampering with his Ivy. Don't insult my intelligence by pretending otherwise.
What the hell is going on? Why isn't my father improving?
I don't know. I came to check on him, and Tessa, she accused me of...
She's stalling. She doesn't want my father to recover. She wants him to die. She wants me to be sad.
Tessa's jaw tightened, but she didn't flinch.
That's absurd.
Is it? You show up here, claiming to be some miracle healer. But my father's condition hasn't changed. Maybe you never had the power to begin with. Maybe this was all a lie to humiliate me. Rage burned through me, hot and blinding. She stood there, calm and untouchable, as though she had not abandoned me, had not run to the royal court to become someone I did not recognize. And now she dared to stand in my father's room, pretending to help while doing nothing. My father was dying, and she was playing games. You are done here. Get out of my pack house before I. But the warrior who had been standing silently behind Tessa moved, stepping between us with a speed that should not have been possible. His hand caught my wrist mid-reach, his grip like iron, unyielding. I stared at him, shock rippling through my fury. His face was calm, but his eyes, ice blue, cold as the depths of winter, burned with a lethal promise.
Touch her, and you will regret it,
he said softly, his voice low and deadly. Jealousy surged through me, sharp and vicious. Who the hell was this nobody? Some handsome and strong royal guard who thought he could challenge me in my own territory. Get your hands off me, I growled, trying to yank my arm free. His grip did not budge. You are nothing but a warrior. You have no authority here. His mouth curved into a faint, humorless smile.
A warrior?
He repeated, his tone almost amused. Then the air changed. Power rolled off him in waves, suffocating, absolute, pressing down on me like the weight of a mountain. My wolf whimpered, instinct screaming at me to submit, to bow, to drop to my knees. No, it could not be.
I am Alaric, Alpha King, ruler of this realm, and if you ever threaten her again, I will make you wish you had never been born.
Rage burned through me, hot and blinding. She stood there, calm and untouchable, as though she hadn't abandoned me, hadn't run to the royal court to become someone I didn't recognize. And now she dared to stand in my father's room, pretending to help while doing nothing. The room went silent. Bianca's gasp was audible, her face draining of color. My own blood turned to ice, my mind struggling to process what I was seeing, what I was hearing. Alpha King Alaric, here, in my pack house, standing beside Tessa, protecting her. You're supposed to be cursed, weak, dying.
Rumors. You need to know.
He released my wrist, and I stumbled back, my arm throbbing where his grip had been. Then Tessa handed a thing to Alaric. Alaric showed me produced something small, a device no bigger than a button, sleek and metallic. He held it up, and a holographic screen flickered to life above it.
Micro camera. I've advised Tessa to record since we arrived.
The screen showed the room, Jason's bed, Tessa working, and then Bianca, her hand reaching for the IV line, her fingers closing around the tubing, ready to pull. The footage was damning, undeniable. My stomach dropped.
Bianca tried to sabotage Jason's treatment. She intended to ensure he didn't recover. I suspect she has her reasons.
I turned slowly to Bianca, my mind reeling. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with panic.
Jasper, I didn't. It's not what it looks like.
Rage burned through me, hot and blinding. She stood there, calm and untouchable, as though she hadn't abandoned me, hadn't run to the royal court to become someone I didn't recognize. And now she dared to stand in my father's room, pretending to help while doing nothing. Shut up, I snapped, my voice harsher than I intended. But even as I said it, doubt clawed at me. Had she really wanted to kill my father? No, she wouldn't. She saved me. She loved me, didn't she? I looked at Tessa, standing beside the Alpha King, her expression calm and unreadable. And for the first time, I wondered if I'd been the fool all along. The evidence stared me in the face, undeniable and damning. Bianca's hand on the IV line, her fingers poised to destroy. The one chance my father had at survival. My chest tightened, something cold and sharp, twisting in my gut. I angrily took her to the pack office.
Jasper, please, you have to believe me. I would never.
Don't. The word came out flat, hollow. She flinched, but pressed closer, her hands reaching for my arm, clinging.
It's a misunderstanding. The camera, it's lying. Tessa set me up. She hates me. She wants to destroy us.
Are you still lying? Are you still lying? Her face crumpled, panic flashing across her features.
I'm just afraid that when your father wakes up, the elders of the pack won't approve of you becoming Alpha. I'm doing this for you. I'm sorry, I did it all for you. I know I was wrong, and I'll do anything to make it up to you.
Tears streaked her cheeks, making her look pitiful. I heard her foolish excuses, and tried to suppress my anger by reminding myself that she saved me from the fire 3 years ago, and her attempt to harm my father was to prevent the elders from questioning me. I shouldn't have lost my temper with her like that. Before I told her I was forgiving her for now, Bianca spun toward the small table near the window. She actually wanted to use her body to make me forgive her? In that single instant, I felt an unprecedented aversion toward her. Stop it. Just leave and go back your home, Bianca. Her hand knocked one of the candles over after lighting them. The flame caught the lace tablecloth instantly, fire blooming in a bright, hungry rush. It spread fast, too fast, licking up the curtains with a roar that filled the room. Bianca, she screamed, a raw, primal sound of terror, and stumbled backward, her entire body trembling violently. Her eyes were wild, fixed on the flames, her face drained of all color. She was paralyzed, frozen, not trying to put out the fire, not moving to help, just staring at it, like it was going to consume her whole. Bianca, move. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Her breaths came in short, panicked gasps, her hands shaking uncontrollably. She was terrified of fire. The realization hit me like a fist to the chest. 3 years ago, when the pack house caught fire, someone had pulled me from the flames. I had been unconscious, choking on, smoke pinned beneath burning debris. When I woke, Bianca had been there, soot, streaked and trembling, claiming she had dragged me out. I had believed her. Of course I had. She had been right there. But now, watching her cower from the flames, unable to even move, she could not have gone into that fire. The thought struck cold and sharp, cutting through everything I thought I knew. If she was this terrified of fire, there was no way she could have run into an inferno to save me. Then, who saved me 3 years ago? Tessa's face suddenly flashed through my mind. She should have shifted 3 years ago, but she never did. Could it have something to do with that fire?
Alpha.
One of the warriors burst through the door, followed by others. They moved quickly, dousing the flames with precision. The fire extinguished within moments, but the damage was done, not to the room, to me. I stared at Bianca, who had collapsed against the wall, still trembling, still unable to meet my eyes. And for the first time, I wondered if everything she had ever told me was a lie. The pack doctor told me my father was recovering. I rushed back to the ward, just in time to see Tessa stepping back from my father's bed, her hands still faintly glowing with that golden light. He was healed. Tessa had saved my father. Tessa glanced at me once, her expression unreadable, then turned toward the door where Alaric waited. She didn't say a word, didn't offer explanation or farewell. She just left, and I didn't stop her. My throat feels dry. I should have said something to her, tried to keep her here, told her Bianca had deceived me, asked if she was the one who saved me from the fire 3 years ago. But as she and Alaric passed me, the lump in my throat swelled, robbing me of the courage to speak. The room felt suffocating after they were gone. I stood beside my father's bed, staring down at him, my mind a storm of confusion and doubt.
Jasper.
His voice was weak but clear. I looked down to find his eyes open, watching me with a sharpness that cut through the haze. Dad. Relief flooded through me, followed immediately by guilt. You're awake.
Barely.
He coughed, wincing, but his gaze never left mine.
I heard what happened.
Dad, Bianca lied to me. She's afraid of fire. She's not my lifesaver.
3 years ago, when the fire trapped you.
Jason's expression darkened, sadness and something heavier, regret, flickering across his face.
It was Tessa who saved you.
The words didn't make sense. Couldn't make sense. Tessa? That's impossible. She didn't.
She had a wolf, a powerful one. But when she pulled you from the flames, when she gave you her strength to survive, it cost her. Her wolf went dormant. She sacrificed everything to save you.
My heart stopped. No, that couldn't be.
She never told you. She didn't want you to feel guilty. She loved you, Jasper, enough to destroy herself for you.
The air left my lungs. Memories crashed over me, Tessa. Always there. Always steady. Always silent. The way she looked at me was something soft and aching. The way she worked herself to exhaustion for the pack, for me, expecting nothing in return. And I'd thrown it all back in her face. I'd believed Bianca. I'd chosen Bianca and accept Tessa's rejection. I'd humiliated Tessa, broken her, cast her aside like she was nothing. And all along, she'd been the one who saved me. My knees nearly buckled. I gripped the edge of the bed, my hands shaking, my throat tight. Why didn't she tell me?
Would you have believed her?
No, I wouldn't have. I would have dismissed her, accused her of lying, of trying to manipulate me, just like I'd done 100 times before.
She's gone now, and you have no one to blame but yourself.
I stared at him, the truth settling over me like a lead weight. Tessa, my savior, my mate, the one I'd destroyed, and now she was gone, standing beside an Alpha King who saw her worth, who protected her, who gave her everything I never could. I'd lost her, but I must get her back. I went back to my pack office and asked my new beta chase to exile Bianca. The words left my mouth cold and final. Bianca Ashford is stripped of her rank. She's no longer a member of Blood Moon Pack. Make her a rogue, effective immediately.
Understood, Alpha.
And Chase, find out everything about Tessa's life here, her family, how Marcus and Gloria treated her. I want details.
I'll have a report by tomorrow.
The next day, Chase returned with a file that made my stomach turn. I read it twice, disbelief warring with a sickening guilt. Marcus had been cold to Tessa after her wolf went dormant. He'd favored Bianca openly, showering her with attention, while Tessa worked herself to the bone managing pack affairs, organizing events, handling disputes, all without recognition. Gloria had taken Tessa's mother's jewelry, her savings, everything that should have been hers. They'd kept it locked away, refusing to give it back, treating Tessa like a servant in her own home, and Tessa had said nothing. She'd endured it all, silent and uncomplaining, even as they bled her dry. It wasn't until she agreed to marry Alaric in Bianca's place that Marcus and Gloria finally returned what was hers. A transaction, not a gesture of love. My hands curled into fists, crumpling the edges of the report. I'd known Marcus was straight. I'd known he preferred Bianca, but I hadn't realized how deep the cruelty ran, how little that valued her. And I'd been no better. Worse, even, because Tessa had loved me, and I'd used that love against her. I shoved back from the desk, the chair scraping harshly against the floor. I needed to see her, needed to explain, to apologize, to beg if I had to.
Alpha, I heard a news from the Royal Palace.
What news?
Tessa's preparing for her Luna Queen ceremony. It's in 2 days.
The words hit like a fist to the chest. Luna Queen. 2 days. She was going to bond with Alaric. Officially. Permanently. And I was running out of time. I grabbed my coat and headed for the door. The Royal Palace was magnificent, all gleaming marble and towering columns, banners bearing the royal crests snapping in the wind. Wolves lined the courtyard, guards, nobles, witnesses, all dressed in formal attire, their faces solemn and expectant. I shouldn't have been here. I had no invitation, no right, but I came anyway. I pushed through the crowd, ignoring the startled looks. Guards moved to intercept me, but I fixed them with a look that made them hesitate.
Let him through.
He didn't stop me, but his eyes held a warning. I didn't care. I stepped inside. The ceremony hall was breathtaking. On a raised platform beneath an arch of white flowers stood Alaric, and beside him, Tessa. She wore a gown of deep sapphire, untouchable, beautiful in a way that made my chest ache. The officiant stood before them.
Tessa Ashford, do you accept Alpha King Alaric as your mate? Do you vow to stand beside him as Luna Queen?
Tessa's lips parted.
I, Tessa Ashford, accept.
I object. The words ripped from my throat, loud and raw.
Every head turned toward the entrance. The officiant froze mid-sentence. Alaric's hand tightened around mine, his expression darkening. And Jasper stood there, chest heaving, eyes wild with something desperate and broken.
I object, he said again, louder this time, his voice cracking. Tessa's my mate. She belongs with me.
The words should have hurt, should have stirred something inside me, some ghost of the love I'd once carried for him. But all I felt was cold, quiet certainty. I turned to face him fully, my hand still clasped in Alaric's, my voice steady.
No, Jasper, I don't belong to you. I have rejected you.
His face crumpled, desperation bleeding through the cracks in his composure.
Tessa, please. I know I was wrong. I know I hurt you. But I can fix this. I can.
You can't.
The words came out firm, final.
You made your choice, and I've made mine.
I felt Alaric's thumb brush against my knuckles, a quiet reassurance, and I drew strength from it. Jasper's jaw tightened, his eyes flickering between me and Alaric. Then something shifted in his expression, something darker, more frantic.
You think he's better than me?
His voice rose, edged with bitterness.
He's cursed, Tessa. Cursed. He won't live past 30. You'll be widowed before you even have a chance to.
That's enough.
Alaric's voice cut through the hall like a blade, cold and absolute. He stepped forward, his presence filling the space. Power radiating from him in waves that made even the guards straighten.
The curse was broken the moment I found my true mate. Tessa is my mate. The moon goddess herself chose her for me. And the moment she accepted me, the curse shattered.
That's impossible.
It's truth and you have no claim here. Leave now.
If you won't come willingly, then I'll give you a reason.
My stomach dropped.
I have Zoe.
The name hit me like a physical blow. Zoe, my closest friend. The one person in Blood Moon who had stood by me when no one else would. What?
She's in Blood Moon. Under guard, if you don't give me 1 week. 1 week to prove I can be the mate you deserve. I'll make sure she never sees the outside of that cell.
He's threatening your friend. He's using her against us. I know, but we can't let Zoe suffer for my choices. Alaric's hand tightened around mine, his voice dropping into something lethal.
You would threaten an innocent wolf? To manipulate your love?
I know she's not my mate anymore, but she could be again. If she just gives me a chance.
I closed my eyes, forcing myself to breathe through the fury and the pain. 1 week, 7 days. And then Zoe would be free. And I could come back to Alaric, back to the life I'd chosen. Fine, 1 week. But after that, you released Zoe, and you let me go. Forever. Jasper's expression flickered, relief, hope, something desperate and fragile.
1 week. I swear.
Alaric's voice was low, deadly.
If you harm her, if you so much as make her uncomfortable, I will end you and your pack.
Jasper met his gaze, and for the first time, I saw him flinch.
I won't. I need to show her. To prove that I can be better.
I turned to Alaric, my chest tight. His jaw was set, fury and helplessness warring in his eyes. But he nodded, releasing my hand slowly, reluctantly. I'll come back, I promise. I, Tessa Ashford, accept Alpha King Alaric Ellington to be my mate.
1 week. And then you're mine again. Always.
And as I stepped down from the platform, following Jasper out of the hall, I felt the weight of every eye on me. But I kept my chin high, because this wasn't surrender. And in 1 week, I would be free. The week passed like a slow, suffocating dream. Jasper tried. Moon goddess, he tried. He cooked for me, elaborate meals that sat untouched on the table. He bought me dresses, jewelry, things that sparkled and gleamed and meant nothing. He planned a birthday party, inviting all pack members, recreating the one I'd never had, complete with a cake he'd baked himself. But it was all hollow, empty. Because none of it changed what he'd done. None of it erased the humiliation, the betrayal, the years I'd wasted loving someone who saw me as nothing.
I kept my promise. You're free to go, Tessa. I'm sorry. For everything.
I know, but it doesn't change anything. And I turned and walked away, smiling at Alaric, who had been waiting at the door all along. Months passed. News trickled in from Blood Moon. Each piece more tragic than the last. Jasper had fallen into despair. He drank himself into oblivion night after night.
Until his wolf, unable to bear the pain, retreated entirely. He became wolfless, broken and powerless alpha. My dad Marcus saw an opportunity. He staged a coup, rallying the pack elders, convincing them that Jasper was unfit to lead. And when the dust settled, Marcus stood as Blood Moon's new alpha.
He found Bianca, who had been wandering alone and bullied by rogues, and brought her back into the Blood Moon. Jasper was exiled, cast out as a rogue. I heard he tried to reach the royal palace, to see me one last time, but he never made it. Rogues found him on the road. Without his wolf, without his strength, he couldn't fight back. He died alone. When Daniel brought me the news, I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no grief. Just a quiet, hollow ache for the boy I'd once loved. The mate he could have been. A year later, Blood Moon collapsed. Marcus's greed and incompetence drove the pack into ruin. Alaric stepped in, placing Daniel in charge, rebuilding what had been lost. And I moved on. The garden was warm, sunlight spilling through the leaves overhead, dappling the grass in gold. I sat on a blanket beneath the willow tree. I looked up to see Alaric crossing the garden, his expression softening the moment his eyes landed on us. He dropped down beside me, pressing a kiss to my temple.
She's perfect, he murmured, his voice thick with emotion.
She is, I agreed, smiling. He wrapped an arm around me, pulling me close, and I leaned into him, feeling the warmth of his body, the steady beat of his heart. I love you, I whispered, looking up at him. His smile was soft, his eyes warm.
And I love you, always.
Julia stirred inside me, content and at peace. We're home, she whispered. Yes. I thought back, closing my eyes, and letting the warmth of the sun and Alaric's embrace wash over me. We are in for the first time in my life. I was truly, completely happy.